Good afternoon. It's Tuesday, September 6th. You know, it was rough getting back to work today after a 3-day weekend, but I made it through. It's fine. And off work, I'm like, well, back to movie day. And finally, with only 3 movies remaining on the shelf, 2 of them being movies that I've never seen before, and that from the back of the box have like special features that seem like they'll take a while to watch through, so when I watch them, it'll absorb more than just that one day. I'll have to prepare to have days later, and one of them that seems like it'll be more appropriate closer to Halloween. I'm actually going to move away from that shelf for at least a week. I'm going to watch a different movie. And I've made a decision. And the movie I'm watching, I'm having to walk away from that shelf because it hasn't made it onto that shelf. There's quite a few movies. Like, I have a little shelf here of movies that I haven't seen since I got. And then there's some overflow of these big old ones here because earlier in the year, I made the investment to buy first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I am finally going to begin watching that. Now I am beginning, at the beginning, with Iron Man, which I have seen. I've seen Iron Man. I think I saw it after seeing Iron Man 3, if I remember correctly. You know, whatever. It's Iron Man. So, I'm gonna watch Iron Man. The box is just generic superheroes. I guess Iron Man's on there. But I have a little cool art of Iron Man. So yeah, I mean, it's been years, of course, since I have seen it. And I'm watching it with the idea that I'm going to start slowly going through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I will quickly get to movies that I have not seen. Very quickly. But for today, Iron Man. And I would give Iron Man an 8.2 out of 10. It was a fun movie. That was fun. And oh, I'm just thinking now, what else am I missing? So, lacking, you know, I bought the phases in like group boxes, so I don't have like an individual synopsis for each. Like, I don't have a backup box description, so Wikipedia it is. Billionaire industrialist Tony Stark builds himself a suit of armor after he is taken captive by a terrorist organization. Free from his captors, he decides to upgrade and don his armor in order to hunt down weapons that were sold under the table. The movie starts with a bang. Tony, out in military jeep, gets blown up, and he's captive. And then we go, what was it, 3 days earlier, however, a very short period of time shorter before that, just to be able to see who he is, what he's like, so that the changes that this attack and captivity make on his life and who he is as a person. He is total playboy, sleeping around, frivolous, no responsibility, not caring for those who are actually significant in his life. That is who Tony is here in this beginning part. And he moves through, and we get this bit here, and then we flash forward, we get to the point within a few days where he is attacked, and then he's in captive. And these terrorists are trying to make him make his newest weapon. But he secretly, because they don't know what's going on, makes the Mark I Iron Man suit. So that he can break out and find his way to freedom. In doing so, he works with the individual who kept him alive by inserting a magnet in his chest with batteries. So one of the things he builds is a little miniature arc reactor that he just pops into his chest that powers the magnet that keeps shrapnel from the attack that he had from reaching his heart, but also is used to power the suit that he makes. Carrying on, he saw his weapons that he made in the hands of these terrorists, and he's like, that's not acceptable. He's trying to shut down, like, the, weapon manufacturing of his company, a weapon manufacturing company, which, of course, others in the company aren't happy with, including his father's partner, who's now his partner in this, who actually had paid to have him killed over there, which is the reason the whole thing started. So as Tony builds his Mark II and Mark III Iron Man suits and takes it to go fight the people that are the terrorists that have his weapons, his assistant, Pepper Potts, like one of the most amazing characters, she is awesome, ends up finding out what had gone on just in time to try and warn Tony, but Tony was under attack by him. And in the end, this business partner had, from the terrorists he paid to kill Tony, gotten the schematics for Mark I Iron Man suit, upgraded it himself, so it's big bulky iron suit versus Iron Man Mark III suit, except Iron Man Mark III suit is now powered with the old arc reactor, because the partner stole Tony's arc reactor out of his chest, the new one, the one that works better, that wasn't made in a cave under duress from terrorists. So they fight. Of course, Tony wins. Great fun. Yeah, little synopsis. During this, we keep saying terrorist organization. And that's the way that I always thought of them, and that's what they were in my mind. But in the movie, they do give themselves a name. They say it a couple of times. They even have their symbol in the background. 10 rings. The 10 rings. Why does that sound familiar now, many, many years later? Oh yeah, because we just recently had a movie, was it Shang-Chi? I don't remember that. And The Legend of the 10 Rings. And I'm like, what else am I missing? That is, and I mean, who knows if they knew that what they were ever going to do with that group. It's probably something that was in Marvel and they just used it, put it in where it works, and then because they did that, they then have access to it, more than 2008 to, was that last year, this year? I don't remember when exactly it was, but whatever. 13 or 14 years later or whatever. I mean, they just have access to it, and I'm rewatching this movie, and I'm like, what else am I missing? Because while I had seen Iron Man, I saw it after seeing at least a couple of the Avengers movies and seeing Iron Man 3. Then I went back and watched, and I was like, this is good. I haven't gone back and watched very many of the Marvel films, but I did this one. And it was good. I was like, I should watch all of them. I just haven't gotten around to it. Well, I own them now, so I will get around to it. And after watching this, I'm really excited to get around to it. And I know, I've heard things, this is supposed to be one of the good ones, and Yeah, not all of them are, but there's lots of ones that are supposed to be good ones that I have missed. We, of course, get a fair bit of Agent Coulson in this, as he's working in things, and then in the post-credits, Nick Fury. Oh, because they're already laying the seeds, planting the seeds for the Avengers. Isn't that exciting? That's awesome. They had plans with it. But, supposed to say, when Tony got back, and as he's making the suit, and he's saying his company shouldn't just willy-nilly sell weapons, and he's getting upset when he finds that his business partner is selling weapons to other countries that are attacking America with them. He's upset with this. He's also not really being a playboy. He's really appreciating Pepper Potts. He is a different person. And so, when they do the flashback to, a few days ago, and you, immediately just get, man, this guy is a sleazeball. I don't like this guy. They do that on purpose so that by the end, you're like, he's a good guy. And he's still the same character. He's still the same personality. He's still this reckless, carefree. It's just the way that personality gets directed. Because in the end, S.H.I.E.L.D. has gone through this effort to be able to give him an alibi, and they have cards and a script, and he has this press conference, and he just sort of says, you know what, the truth is, I am Iron Man. Which also, from someone that grew up on DC Comics. Superman, oh no, don't let anyone know you're Clark Kent. Or Batman, no, can't let him know you're Bruce Wayne. And then even, a little older, where we get Spider-Man. Oh, keep the mask on, oh no, people find out and bad things happen to Peter. And then, maybe a little less in X-Men, but it's still, some degree of, anonymity, not letting people outright know who they are. Going from that kind of culture of that's what a superhero is, to Tony Stark's, you know what the truth is? I am Iron Man. And just being like, no, he's just out there with it. It's such a different concept. And it's cool. Tony Stark is cool. And I am excited to be watching Marvel movies. Now, I'm not going to just... It's not like, oh, I've started this and that's all I'm watching now. But I have begun. The box is on the shelf for the first phase. Which, because it's a big box, it moved things over, and I now have access to this shelf, so that's cool. That's one more shelf opened up. But I'm going to start working through it. And that's exciting. Because there's lots of Marvel movies I've heard great things about that I haven't seen, that I don't know much about. I've hit many, I've seen a couple of the individual ones, and I've watched the Avengers films. Anyways, I'm call it a night. Got a Bible study tomorrow I need to read a couple chapters for. Probably try and still edit a vlog. I haven't done that yet today. Thank you for joining me, and join me as my journey continues.